All right. So everybody, man, you know what? I'm gonna let my man, introduce himself because he ready. He called me, he said, I'm ready for this podcast. Let's go.
Right. Hey, look, I want to say first, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for reaching out to me, man. This is my second podcast that I've been interviewed for so far, and man, it's just showing me that what I'm doing is working, right? Because if other people are paying attention, to want to bring me on their platforms, obviously I must be doing something that is working. So one, I want to say thank you for setting this, having this platform, starting this platform, for people like us, people in uniform looking to do something else. Or hey, if you stay in the uniform, whether you're going to do 24 years, there's other opportunities out there, man. So I just want to say thank you for you and shout out to the podcast for sure.
Oh, thank you.
But my
Thank
name
you.
is Juan Fugaro, right? I'm Air Force, been in the Air Force for 6 years now. I'm a Loadmaster by trade, C-17. Currently, I am at, yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm currently an ALS instructor, so Airman Leadership Instructor. So I'm teaching like leadership skills, to all of the new staff sergeants coming in. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then on the side, what I do is I play with some stocks. I dibble and dabble in some real estate, and my main thing that I do is Turo. So it's a peer-to-peer car rental platform. It's kind of like Airbnb for cars. And
Mhm.
I have currently 4 cars that I rent out, and they do really well. So I'm excited to talk about that, man.
All right, cool. So, I'm gonna jump. We already jumped into the first question. What branches you serve in, how long you served. It's crazy because man, my boy Chris Mack spoke highly of you. God damn it!
That's my guy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? My boy Chris Mack spoke highly of you because he was your instructor, man.
Yep.
That was, and it's funny. We was in Altus together.
Wow.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I was a cross trainee, and
Okay.
he was fresh out of boot camp.
Yeah.
So and we was both from Jersey, so we linked up, and man, we've been tight ever since.
That's
So
dope.
he spoke very highly of you, and then I saw you gave his instructor ride when he got
Yep.
back in the jet. So I was like, yo, that's dope,
Back up
man.
full circle,
Full
man.
full circle, baby, full circle.
Yeah.
So tell me something about, just telling everybody, what does the C-17 mission look like?
So up here in Jersey, we are the premier airlift squadron for presidential airlift. But like I said, we have multiple bases, multiple
Mhm.
squadrons across multiple bases. And the C-17, man, I don't know, that's my baby, right? That's my first love. So I've been to 40 countries and 40 something states on that airplane, right? My first year of flying, I've been gone 200 something days. But it was something that a kid from Brooklyn, New York, never ever thought that I would go to the places that I've seen. I'm talking about Dubai, Spain, Ireland, Poland, Romania, um, Egypt. You know what I mean? Like places that I never in my life. I thought you had to be a rapper to go to these places, right? And that the plane and the Air Force allowed me to be able to go and see these things and witness things in the flesh. So the C-17 mission is premier cargo airlift, right? So anywhere you see people, guns, bullets, food, hurricane, anything you can name, we're there, right? We are the Air Forces. I like to say we're the Air Forces UPS, right? We get the stuff where it needs to go. Whether that be, like I said, and I've done some amazing missions from Hurricane Maria into Puerto Rico. I've flown the Secretary of Defense, excuse me, Mattis when he was in office. Took him to Afghanistan. That was another cool mission I got to do. And then, like I said, we can have the Grim Reaper at your door in less than 24 hours. You know,
That.
I've been very, very blessed to be in a position. And like you spoke earlier about Sergeant Mac, that's my guy. I went through tech school, and he was my tech school instructor. And his swag, his charisma, the way that he spoke, he was so confident in himself. To me, being a kid from Brooklyn, New York, I saw myself in him. And I was
Dope.
like I want to be like that guy. And I'll never forget um one of the other students had asked him a question like, "Hey, Sergeant Mac, how do you feel like we're doing as a class?" And he was like, if you're gonna let some math problems stop you from flying around the world and drinking Mai Tais, that's your problem." And that was forever like engraved in my brain.
That's bars right
Yeah,
there.
bar. That was a bar before bars was bars, right? Um, I was motivated by that. I hated math. I still hate math to this day. But I was so motivated by that. I was like, man, I got to get on this plane, man. Like, I got to see what this life is about. And I will say I have no regrets. No regrets. I've been flying 5 years. Like I said, took a break for a little bit, but we'll see what God has in store for me. If that's to go back, if that's to go on the reserve side, what have you. But I've been blessed, man. I've had an amazing career.
Dope. I mean, I'm gonna need you to catch up, yo, because I'm at 79 countries right now.
Oh yeah, hey, give me some time. I'm coming.
Indeed. So I had to pull something up for you. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, who is that? I can't see who it is.
Vice President Pence.
Vice President, yeah, that's dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. That was on. It's crazy, man. That was on a Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And, we were coming back from I think it was Kabul or something to go straight. We double AR, straight to DC.
Oh, wow.
19 and a half hours
straight. Sheesh.
Yeah, but the dope part about it was, man, he actually, he actually called all of our families on Christmas Eve.
Oh man, that's dope.
And wished everybody a Merry Christmas and was like, "Yo, your son taking good care of me." Da 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 da.
That's dope.
I was like, man, like, okay, this guy,
yeah,
it made me feel like I actually did something,
Absolutely, and your sacrifice wasn't in vain. Absolutely, man.
Definitely, man. So, what are your plans? I know you say you don't know if you're gonna retire, switch to the guard. Like, so what does that look like? What
right now for me, honestly, I try to take it enlistment by enlistment. So currently, I'm still in my first enlistment. I just extended to take this ALS job. So that's a 3-year thing. So I'll be doing this for 3 years, to 2024. And then my extension will end and I can re-enlist for another contract if I feel so. So I'm just kind of taking it time by time. I put a lot of time and effort. First I want to say I love what I do. A lot of people in the flying world, I mean, our world is a world that a lot of people don't ever want to give up. And when a lot of people heard that I was going to be an ALS instructor, they were questioning me like, man, you want to go, you going to leave this to go to that? Like, like this, you sure about that? And, everybody had that bad taste of PME in their mouth. And, and I'll be honest, I was kind of nervous. I was like, man, like, did I make the right move kind of thing? But I'm so grateful. I work with amazing people. I have a master sergeant who's coming out right now who's actually my instructor when I went through ALS. That's who actually hired me. And he give me knowledge and game, man, on a daily things that I can apply in the Air Force towards my career and outside, towards my business, just life. So I'm forever grateful for that, man. I learned as I'm getting older that your network is very, very, very important now. I would say numero uno, right? Because sometimes your name is in rooms that you probably have never even stepped in before. And I think that's my career. I've been blessed so far to come this far, not because I'm this super shiny star. It's because I had people that care about me. I had people that cared about me and invested in me, man, and I'm forever grateful for them. So as of right now, like I said, we're gonna ride this ALS gig out. I'm enjoying it, back to the students, learning from them, being able to give them that different perspective of what an aircrew member is, right? Because the guys with the green suits, we kind of already have a stigma attached to us. We already have this thing of like, oh, you're aircrew, okay. Expect a certain attitude, a certain demeanor from us. So I just try to get in the classroom and try to change that. Try to pull each and every one of them in and show them, hey, man, look, this is where you help me do my job. This is where I help you do your job. This is why we're equally important, right? Because at the end of the day, the mission couldn't get done without everybody working together, man. And that's
definitely.
No matter how much big-headed you try to get because if you wear some wings on your chest, that's just not the reality, So, but don't get it twisted. I'm very, very, very proud to be an aviator, man. I love it. I love it. I'm glad I'm part of that legacy. And I
haven't made.
Airman's Creed, the part that I think I hold on to the most is to be a part of legacy of valor. A legacy of.
Yeah, I can't even help you. I forgot it.
Basically, I'm losing track right now, but
yeah.
Right now where we talk about being a part of a strong legacy, right? And when I think of that, I think of the Tuskegee Airmen. And to me, the Tuskegee Airmen Squadron was created because they didn't think that Black aviators could do what they did, right? And so every time I hear that line, I always think about that. Like, man, I'm a part of that legacy. I'm a part of those guys, and I'm proud of that. I mean, I got my Tuskegee, hoodie on right now.
I see it.
Yeah, so for me, I'm forever grateful for that. Like I said, I'm a kid from Brooklyn, New York. This is
Right.
typically not the career path that a lot of us from my city and from where I'm from, we go. So to be in this position, man, I'm just blessed. I'm honored.
So
Having
something
fun.
you said something. You say you was talking about your network, and this is something that I tell every up and coming entrepreneur. This is what I tell veterans when I'm going out speaking in front of people. I tell them that your network is your net worth. And something that was told to me is you're the average of the top 5 people you spend most of your time with. You know what I'm saying? So if you spend most of your time, and this is, I have a young airman I've been kind of mentoring, but even before he joined the Air Force, he called me up, said, "Hey, I'm thinking about joining the Air Force." So I put, what I'm saying, I set him up, and I tell him, I was like, "Hey, don't be afraid to go talk to Chief Master Sergeant somebody.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to go talk to Lieutenant Colonel somebody." I like, because they've been around the block more than you have. I like, don't get stuck in the dorms, playing video games with the same exact people that you go to work with, and Yo, get out there and do something with your life.
That's
You
the
know,
truth.
yeah. Like, I mean, it's so a funny story how, like, I was, started flying, hanging around squadron, doing this, doing that. I went on a TDY with somebody. We actually deployed to Manas, and I asked to use his laptop real quick, because I was in his room, pulled up his laptop. Just so happened he had his. I guess last thing he looked at was his bank account statement. Like he was a captain, and I saw the figure. I was like, well, what are we not doing? Like, what? And you know what he told me? He was like, oh man, he was like, yeah, I bought an apartment building every place that I got stationed. He was like, because he's like, I live for free and people pay me rent to live.
Yep.
And then he said, that's how I got all this money in my account. And I was like, why are you still doing this? I mean, as an aircraft commander, he's actually an aircraft commander. As an aircraft commander, I'm like, you got so much responsibility, flight planning. You got to take care. I mean, you're pretty much a babysitter to, the loadmasters, to the young lieutenant that just on his dollar ride, And he was like, yeah, he was like, I had a plan when I came in the Air Force. He said my plan was to finish my 12 years. He's like, get stationed in 3 different places and buy 3 different apartment complexes. And now he's flying for Southwest, just chilling. But yeah, I mean, but I attached myself to him,
right?
Everything. And I bought, like, when we got back off that deployment, I bought my first house. And he told me, I told him I ain't have apartment. I ain't have apartment money. And it's actually in Mount Laurel. I still got it to this day. I still got it to this day.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But he told me, he said, start off slow. He said, buy some place that you can call home, not the most sexiest place. He said something that you could grow into. And he was like, when you get orders, then you turn it into a rental. And he said, when you get to your next place, he said, buy another place. And he was like, not the most flashiest place, something that you could live in comfortably for 3 years. When you PCS, turn that into a rental. And I mean, that's what I did. So, like one of them, I didn't turn into Airbnb. The other one, of Mount Laurel's about to become an Airbnb once this lease is up. And I mean, that Airbnb money way better than rent money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I tell people that all the time. So what got you into pretty much entrepreneurship? Because, being a Turo host, I mean, that's an entrepreneurial duty, because you have to buy the car, you have to, give the keys. I don't know if you have systems or anything set up to where, you don't have to give keys or so tell me a little bit about that journey, how that became.
I want to say that exact mindset that aircraft commander had is what I came in the Air Force with, right? I've been blessed to be around older men who always tell me about that. And basically what I get from that, the synopsis I like to just kind of wrap it in, is like, money does not make you happy, right? But money takes care of all the money problems. So that way you can focus on happiness, right? So for me, my thing is like, okay, while I'm young, while I'm youthful, while my mind is sharp, while my body is intact, the way I'm healthy, I need to get as much money as I can, like ASAP, right? So that way I can set myself up to where I can wake up when I want, right? I can take my kids to practice and go, have events and stuff like that, and I control my time. So I came in the Air Force with that mindset just from literally just watching stuff, on social media, on, different books that people, recommend me to read. And the first one I think I got me in that mindset was that Rich Dad Poor Dad, for sure. I know a lot of people talk about it. It's cliche. But that book really switched my mindset, right? And then I went into another book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yep.
And I started reading a lot of these books, and I'm like, man, there's a common thing here, and it's people think it's money when it's not. It's freedom, right? People want enough money to be able to do what they want, do what they love, pursue what they love, right? And so you always hear the question of, if money wasn't a thing, what would you be doing, kind of thing, And I always say, well, whatever I want. Right, because to me that's the whole purpose of getting money, right? So you can do whatever you want. So for me, what got me into that entrepreneurial spirit is just really chasing that freedom. I'm like, man, you know what? I fly around the world, man. This is amazing. I don't think there's nothing that gets better than this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a huge missing piece is I don't have my family with me, right? My family's not. My kids are not with me, right? So I'm in Dubai. I'm flying over the pyramids in Egypt, but my children aren't getting the experiences, right? So for me, I realized I'm like, okay, I need to do something to where this can be a us thing, not a me thing. So I was like, okay, I can stay in the mindset of be comfortable in the military. I get a first and a 15 check. I got health care, I got benefits, I got the base, shopping at the commissary. I got all these things that the Air Force affords me. Or I could go a little bit further.
Bro, that commissary, man, I missed the commissary because me,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, right. So I started playing in stocks in the pandemic, and I was in ALS actually. I was in ALS. I made my first $1,000 in a day from clicking buttons on my phone, and I was like, hold up, we might have caught on to something, right? And so of course I lost money as well, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally just figuring it out. And that kind of like sparked the bug in me, right? And then last year, 2021, I went and bought my first car for Turo. I'll never forget it. April 20th, 2021, I bought my first car for Turo, and I bought a Camaro, a 2019 Camaro, bright green. And I was like, this car right here is going to do exactly what I needed to do. Why? Because it sells itself. Everywhere I drive that car, people ask me, man, that's a nice car. And I always have be able to pitch, hey, look, I actually have a rental car business if you want to rent it out. And once I started that and I made $2,000 my first month, my first 30 days I made $2,000, and I was like, oh, snap. Okay, how do I make this thing go faster? I was like, okay, I need to add another car. But I had a lot of stuff going on for the Air Force, right? I had to go down to Maxwell Air Force Base to go to instructor course to be able to be an instructor. So the summertime I had to stop because I took the car down there with me. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just taking it down there with me, enjoy it, what have you. So I wasn't able to make money during those 2 months, and that was a prime time summertime. So
man, you should tell me I got a property in Maxwell. I'd have rented it out to you while you was out there.
Hey, look, but this is why it's important right here, right? Yeah. This is why network is important for sure. And so I did that, and I got back, and it took off right back when I got back, and I got back in August. So I was like, okay, there's something to this. So my wife's car actually has a Honda. I put that car on there as well. And a guy rented a 2016 Honda Accord, paid off, put it on there, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let me see what this does. A guy rented it for a month and a half. I made $3,000 off of that car for a month and a half. And the only reason he bought it back was because our battery was messed up. So I instantly was like, okay, I figured something out here. So I've been through it all. My buddy, he went and got one. Person didn't return his car. So, learn from his mistakes. Then a Camaro came back one time. A person parked it up. They hit it. And I was like, hey, my car didn't go out like this. So that was my first accident and had to, go through the insurance and all of that stuff. So I learned. I've been learning as I go. So I would say the first year I made $10,000 on Turo. And this year I'm aiming for 15. And so last year, October, I added a Jeep Wrangler to the fleet. And the whole vision for me is to get off of Turo. I have a love for cars. My son, he loves cars. He's always out there cleaning them with me. And I said, hey, you know what? What better to mix my passion and get paid for something, right? Something that I enjoy and to get paid for something, and something that I can one day pass on to my children.
Dope.
And something that's common between us, right? And I said, man, like if you go in his room right now, literally has shelves of cars, right? He's like, Daddy, my first car I want a Lamborghini. So to me, those things spark me. And I'm like, hey, you know what? The goal is to always get off of Turo and have my own platform eventually, have my own rental car business. So after I started to see the numbers, and I bit the bullet on a few things, scratching the rims up, hitting the car coming back smelling like weed, smoke and weed and all this stuff. You just got to go through the motions, right? And I realized, I saw like, hey, there is still something here. And I just got to keep pushing it now. Like I said, I'm up $3,000 for the year so far, so we on target.
Dope, man. It's crazy that a lot of people don't understand. Like, I put my grandmother's car on Toro. She just turned 86. She don't need to be driving no more.
Yep.
So we got a car just sitting in the garage. I was like, hey, we rented that car out in October. The same person has had it since October, then paid about $7,000.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I think I lost you. Somebody just called me. I think I lost you I can't hear you.
Hear me?
I can't hear. I can't hear.
How about now?
I see you talking, but I can't hear you.
All right. You're not on mute.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Can you hear me? No.
No, I can't hear. I can see you talking, but I can't hear you.
All right. I'm gonna pause it and then
okay.
Come back in.
You're gonna pause it. Okay.
Did it come back on? Come back on? No.
Nothing. No. Do you want me to leave and try to come back? That's gonna mess up the recording. Okay, I'll try that.
All right, how's that? You good?
Perfect. I got you again.
Gotcha. All right, so we was talking about, man, I'm telling you, you were talking about legacy.
Mm-hmm.
For leaving something for your kids, like that is that's one of my biggest things. One of the things that I did was the rental properties that I had. I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to because I bought all my houses in my VA loan.
Mm-hmm.
No money down. And so I'm gonna wind up refinancing once they turn 18. I'm gonna refinance the houses out into conventional loans.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put it in their name because now, if they go off to college, I'm like, hey, you could take this $2,000 a month rent every single month and do what you gotta do with it. And don't call daddy for nothing.
Yep. And you have a hard asset. You still have a hard asset.
Exactly.
Money. That money is not going to go anywhere as long as you can control that asset.
And then if you come across hard times and you can't figure it out, hey, go sell the house.
Yep.
Now you got 200,000 sitting.
Now you can figure something out.
Figure it out. If I tell me if college ain't for you, hey, like at least you have something to fall back on.
Absolutely.
And then I think what I'm saying, that's a job as a father.
Yep.
Just to try to set them up as best as possible instead of and kicking them out at 18, like a lot of parents do, and be like, oh, go figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start getting into trouble because now the way they figured it out might have been drugs or robbing, killing. You know what I mean? So hey, let's put them up. Let's put them in a good situation. Yep. So man, so one of the things I wanted to learn. So what did you take from the military into your business that made your business a little bit better?
Two things come to mind. Discipline And I would honestly say, as cheesy it may sound, is serve before self, right? The Air Force taught that's one of our core values, serve before self. And what I took from serve before self into my business was, if I can give every customer an experience, they're going to always come back to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if that means I have to cut some profit, even if that means I have to go out of my way to do something that I probably would normally charge for, I do it for free, right? Even if it's, hey, I got something going on, I can't fill the car up. Hey, bring it back empty. No worries, right? Just little things like that. I realized that, hey, look, I don't have to always try to, get the top dollar, because guess what? If I give myself just a little bit extra to that person's going to remember that. Literally just happened to me today. I took my son to go, one of our cars just came back from a 2-week rental, took him to go clean it, picked him up from school, took him to go clean it. I was in Wawa, and I seen this young lady smiling at me, and I'm like, hey, how you doing, ma'am? And I just kind of kept it pushing. And I'm at the register, and she was like, hey, you don't remember me? And I'm like, no, like, hey, where I know you from? She was like, I run in one of your cars. My name is Latoya. You drive that green car out there, right? I was like, yeah. She was like, thank you so much. That car is so beautiful. This and this. I want to rent it from you again, right? Like something as simple as that. Like customer saw me in Wawa, right? And to me, I always take those two things with me, because I realized that motivation will die. Right? Motivation will eventually die, because whatever it is that you're motivated by, it'll eventually go away. And it's just a feeling. But if you're disciplined, you're going to do the hard thing anyway, right? You're going to continue to do the hard thing regardless of how you feel. You're going to continue to do the hard thing even when you're not making no money. You're going to continue to do the hard thing even when things aren't going as planned and you're not on track to hit the goals you're supposed to, right? And those two things, man, I will say I've been successful so far, carrying those two things with me. Making sure I take care of people, right? Because at the end of the day, people, no matter where I go, I'm going to always have to work with people. Whether I'm going to be a business owner or whether I go work for somebody, right, for 9 to 5, I'm going to always have to work with people. So to me, my thing is, if I can help master that, I think I'll be all right.
You know what, man? You an okay guy, man. I'm telling you that because it's funny, man. Like as a real estate agent, real estate, my whole motto is relationships over transactions. Because if you build a relationship with somebody, that's a relationship that's going to last a lifetime.
Yep.
Like granted, if I was the worst real estate agent in the world, I sold somebody a house, we went through this, we went through that, they're not going to call me back.
Right.
But you do a good job. You make a relationship with that person. Guess what? They got cousins, friends, aunties, uncles. Like it's crazy. I closed on a deal in December with a 79-year-old lady who wanted to buy a house, who never owned a house before.
Wow.
January helped her son buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I have a closing with the same lady's sister.
Wow.
Now, if I didn't, if I didn't build that relationship, I'd still be out here hustling and bustling for the next deal. But I created that relationship. Like this, like the whole family loved me. Like I get invited to, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, and parties.
That's how you do it. And it's funny that you say that, because I'm the exact same way with my realtor, right? My realtor that helped me buy my house, she was amazing. And I refer her to my boy who also bought a house last year. I refer her to my other one of my students wanted to buy a house, who also bought a house. And then my uncle's getting ready to buy a house. Literally, he about to close in a couple of weeks. So it's funny that you say that. That's exactly correct, right? You take care of people, man. People gonna take care of you for sure.
Definitely, man. So, man, I mean, we know. Okay, we talked about Rich Dad Poor Dad, like that. I ain't gonna lie, that was the book that did it for me.
Yep.
And it's crazy, I read. I mean, I'm happy you're doing this at such a young age, man. I did it. I was 17 years in the Air Force before I opened my mind.
Right.
It is I opened my mind up by Rich Dad Poor Dad, because January 1st, 2018 to January 1st, 2019, I gave up TV, radio, everything for 365 days.
Discipline.
Just because of the simple fact, like I felt like once I started learning the other side of the world, like I was like, I'm missing some stuff. I was like, man, I need to catch up.
Yeah.
So, so I got rid of all distractions. Every once in a while, I'll sit down and, watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, like, okay, I might catch a couple, minutes of that. But I had to get focused, and Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of them. That was the first one. Then, I went to Richest Man in Babylon, the secret, secret of a millionaire mind. Grant, I don't know if you ever read Grant Cardone's book 10X.
Yeah.
If,
You talk about relationships, right? I have a perfect example for that. So just from Instagram, I saw that Grant Cardone's wife, Elena, she likes to shoot. So while I was flying one day, I took a few I took a few of my patches, collected some patches and stuff for her. And I sent it to her. I said, hey, can I reach out to you? I want to send you some patches to put on your bag, when you go your shooting bags and stuff. In return for that, she sent me all of Grant's books signed. And literally, she follows me on Instagram, always commenting, pictures I post with my kids and stuff like that. And that's just like you said, a virtual relationship, man.
Dope.
Guys is almost a billionaire. If not already a billionaire, right? And that's literally through the power of just social media, and people feel that energy from you, that authenticness from you. So that's crazy that you said that. Yes, that book is crazy.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's dope, bro. Hey, your network is your network. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure. Granted, I know you don't need it right now. You killing it. In Turo, but if you decide to get out, you want to do something bigger. I'm talking about bigger. I'm quite sure now you have a connect.
Absolutely.
Especially y'all, keep engaging and hey, bro, you headed high, bro.
I appreciate that. I really do.
You headed high, man. But so one of the other things is that I always ask, especially, so how do you, and this is one of the most important topics, and we're going to end it on this one.
Okay.
How do you take your Air Force career, your Turo business, your dipping and your dabbing in your stocks, your mindset, and incorporate the family to create a great family life? Because that's where a lot of people miss that step.
Yes.
Which I fall short sometimes, where I'll be down in the office. Like my wife used to cut the internet. We got the Google Home.
Yeah.
And I'll be in the basement, and all of a sudden the internet go out, and I'm like, what happened?
Right.
And she went in Google Home and cut the whole internet off. Like, come to bed. I'm like, okay. So give me a little bit of advice about that.
Man, that's good. I have one of my closest brothers. He always asks that whenever I tell him about somebody that's inspired me or what have you, or somebody I talk to, that's always his first question. How is his family life? Because sometimes we can give too much, right? That balance is important. So for me, I think the best way I incorporate it is when I'm home, man. I am when I say I'm home, I'm not just around the house. Hey, let's go skating. Hey, let's go to the Poconos. Hey, let's go down to DC. Let's go to Disney World. Let's go. Because, like I said, 5 years of flying, when I came home, I had to make the time count because I didn't know I could get that phone call and say, hey, we need to go back out tomorrow. Right. So I think I was actually forced to make sure that quality time was quality time when I was at the house. Because I was gone 200 days my first year flying, right? So I was like, man, if this is going to be life for the next however long I do this, man, when I'm at the house, I got to make it count. I got 3 young kids, man. I got a 8-year-old in July, just turned 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they need me, especially my son. I got 2 girls and my son. So they need me. So when I'm home, I like to be doing stuff. I'm not like sit around the house and just lollygag. Yo, let's go outside. Let's go for a bike ride. Let's go to the water and go fish. Hey, let's go to the Poconos for the weekend. Get him a cabin in the Poconos. Let's do something, right? Because to me, I'm all about experience. I'm from New York, man, so I like my sneakers and all of that stuff, and I like to feel fly and all of that. But I think the most thing that I spend my money on is experience with my kids. And those are the things that I always try to. There's no cap for that. If it's going to be an experience with my kids and something memorable for me, I'm gonna spend whatever for it. So for me, honestly, I don't have a like drawn out plan or daily routine type thing, but I just make the time count. I make the time count. Whether that be little things like what you heard me say earlier about, hey, taking my son to go wash the cars. That's something he really enjoys. So we say, hey, you know what, son, this is for business. But we're gonna make it count. We're gonna spend some time while we do it. Hey, you want to stop and get a snack at the store? Cool, let's do that too, right? Because those are the things he's gonna remember, man. Me and Pop used to go and do this, and I tell him, hey, make sure you get the rims. Little things like that, right? And so for me, I just make that time. Whether if it's business, I bring my kids with me. hey, come see what daddy's doing. You know, this is why daddy's doing this. I explain it to them, right? Yeah, they're young, but I feel like the more I give them right now, when they grow up, it's going to make sense, right? And as they grow, they won't be lost. They won't feel like daddy was over here and we were over here. It was like, man, we were all together. Daddy, why are you doing this, this, and this? Oh, because this is why we got to have to do this, this, and this. So that way daddy can have more time. And, you know, I explain those things to them. I don't baby talk my kids. I give it to them straight. And they understand. Just the same way just now with the podcast. Like you probably hear them in the background, but I say, hey, look, daddy wants to do somebody wants to interview me right real quick. So hey, guess what? Give me some 30 minutes, and then we clock back in. We go outside, we throw the football, what have you, right? So me, like I said, I don't have a drawn out, design plan, man. I just made the time count when I'm at the house.
Yo, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. And everybody, man, yo, that's his name on IG.
Yeah, my name on IG. Yeah, follow me for sure.
Yeah. And I did.
Yeah, I post a lot.
I asked that question because yo, he be doing some dope dance routines with his kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, we like to have fun, man. We like to dance in this house.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. What part of Brooklyn you from?
I'm from Flatbush.
Flatbush, okay.
Yeah, I'm from Flatbush, 43rd between Lenox and Clarkson.
Word. Yeah. I used to when I first graduated, because I joined the Air Force when I was 21.
Okay.
And, I used to work for a bank, and then actually they had sent me out to Crown Heights for
I got
a year and a half. So I was out there. I fell in love with Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's different from when I used to go out there.
Oh yeah, it's different.
Barclays and all that, but yeah, man. But
nah, man, you got people out there riding their bike, walking their dog. It's crazy. Beautiful though, man.
Beautiful. Definitely. But yeah, man, I would like to personally thank you. And we definitely gonna connect again. Especially I got to come up to Jersey soon anyway, because I think the Mount Laura house about to go. It's too far.
Okay. Hey, look, when you're in town, please hit me up, man. We go out, we go, get a drink, whatever. And really chop it up. I definitely thank you so much for this opportunity, man. I was so excited for this. I'm glad we got to chop it up. When you drop the episode, please send me the link so I can share.
Will do. I'm gonna have to do some editing from the. I'm gonna do some editing from the little gap that we did.
Yeah, but little gap for sure. In the world of the technology, yeah, for sure. Man. No, I just want to thank you so much, brother. Thank you for what you're doing. I've been watching you from afar as well, and I've been seeing you eating. And I just want to say, man, continue. Don't stop. You're inspiring people that you don't even know, right? People are watching your moves. They're seeing how you took the cards that was given to you and how you making them play. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to more, man. Yeah, and we definitely need to connect on the Airbnb thing. We can talk offline about that.
Back. When we hang up, I'm gonna call you real quick. Okay. All right, man.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, man.
All right, man. Thanks.